Hello, 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 everybody. It's Dr. Sandra. I am so happy and so excited that you're here with me this week so that we can all create that killer mini course that we want as nurse bosses to move forward as a piece of our business, one tool in our business. And I'm so excited that you joined me here today. So we're going to talk today about in day one in our 5-day series about what we are going to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is what we're planning to do over our time together. And then I'm going to talk to you each specific day on a little bit of a lesson in terms of things that move us forward in our course design and helping to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And then we do have some action items that you're going to be completing on a daily basis. And each of these items will continually build until the goal is that you will have this framework for your course, your mini course, whether you choose to deliver your mini course as a face-to-face course or an online course. During our time together, we're going to be talking about the steps it takes us to get from the idea in our head, the thought that we have behind it, all the way to the point of we've got this product that we are ready to deliver, and we've got some feedback from our audience that says there really is a need for this product. Okay? So today's goals, we're going to have a few things going on, okay? And one of the first things I want to do is every day when I do a presentation with this, there is going to be a PowerPoint associated with it so that we can kind of speak to that and you can see a little bit of what I'm speaking of, okay? So let me pop that PowerPoint up for you right now. And so again, welcome to Create a Killer Mini Course. This is our first day together, and we want to build a course that is going to engage, excite, and basically help really get our audience moving. So they're moving forward on whatever goals, whatever transformation we are intending for them to have during our time together, okay? So let's get into this. So expectations, you will hear this on a daily basis. Think about yourself with this. Think about your process with this and have fun. Don't overwhelm with the idea that, yes, this is targeted towards 12 hours of your week for me this week, okay? But don't think about that. Think about the fun and creating something that you wanted to create and having the best practices put there in place for you and the method to take it step by step so you can get to that goal, okay? You're going to contribute. And while this won't be the format that we'll be able to contribute to each other, one of the things that we will have available is that there will be an exclusive Facebook page for us to have access to each other during the week. So there's going to be things that I'm asking you to post each day on Facebook. Note that this is a safe place for all of us. Note that nobody is trying to take your idea. Everybody is trying to work on their own and help you develop as a tribe, help you develop yours to be a stronger product, okay, or service that you want to deliver. Articulate your thoughts as you're going through. So there are going to be bits and points because I want us to get to the point that we actually push that button and publish our course. I don't want us to be in what we call analysis paralysis. And you'll hear about that later on down the line, where we keep thinking about it and overthinking and doing this. But I want us to actually get to the point that by the end of this week, our time together, you have a course that you are ready to deliver, okay? And engage in discussion. If you have questions back and forth, and yes, you're going to have questions. That's what the point is about this, okay? I don't want you stuck. So in the Facebook group, let's help each other move forward so that we can get the best experience we can in our week time frame together, okay? So one of the things I want you to know is that mindset matters. And what I mean by that is before we even touch anything, before you really engage with this video and start to play with the worksheet and everything like that, I want your mindset to be positive. That yes, I can do this. Yes, I can take this task and do this task at this point in time. And I've accomplished something. I can go to the next task and do the same thing. And it's going to be okay. And the other piece of the mindset that I want you to think about is you are going to have changes throughout this process. As you develop your topic, You're going to be receiving input from your audience, okay? And we're going to be using some of our Facebook friends as our audience, okay? And then we're going to be using each other, our tribe, within our Facebook page as our audience as well. And they're going to give you some feedback back and forth. So while you may have had a preconceived idea of what your course is going to be like, it may pivot some, and that's the normal expectation, okay? But we want that to happen because we want the pivot to meet them, the customers, where they need it, okay? If we're trying to create that transformation in this mini course for them, we need those pivots to help meet our product with our customers and unite that so that learning will actually occur. So mindset matters. Stay positive with this. Reach out to me at any point in time when you have questions about your process or if you want to run your idea. Okay? All right. So let's talk a little bit about formal and informal learning, because some of you guys may be using your course for something more formal, like an orientation process. Or sometimes you may see that there's some what we call accidental learning happening, some learning in the moment that happens, and we want to kind of capture that information. Or we want to share something more formal, in the case here, your course, in the form of a workshop or delivering online or whatever way you want to have that. Or maybe you just have it online available to deliver it face-to-face. So you have that reference for you, okay? And everything's set up so it's there for you, okay? There is learning that occurs both consciously and unconsciously with all of your learners, okay? And one of our goals is to help stimulate that learning across that continuum, all right? And we also want to make the learning really relevant for them. So what I mean by that is I think a lot of us have been in a lecture where we sit there and wonder why we're there in the first place. We could have read the slides and stayed at home and been over and done with that, right? That's not the goal for your course. We want to make it relevant and something that your learners can immediately use outside of that course, okay? So we can have learning that is both formally on our jobs, okay, formally towards that customer's role, whatever's going on with them, okay, and then an informal, unconscious learning where it's just that accidental learning that we learn because we are in that situation at that point in time, okay? And then we have to look at educational perspectives. So we're making the leap from the broad concept of what learning kind of entails to one of the focuses in terms of teaching and focus on learning. All right. So from a traditional strand, let me take a step back. Education has changed in the method we deliver education over the years. Okay. And what we historically had was that you had your teacher who was the all-knowing individual, and he or she would be up on that, literally on that stage, looking down at all the folks who are just in their glory, just listening and absorbing all this information from somebody. And that's not the case anymore, okay? That was the focused way, the traditional way of kind of teaching and delivering that content for learning, okay? And the learning aspect of that example was that I was just, as the student, just absorbing that information, writing it down and absorbing that information, okay? But contemporary learning has changed, okay? And we've gone from the just feeding you information to really learning how to apply that information and learning how to problem solve and move forward, decision make using that information. So instead of just lecturing, what you may see teachers doing is engaging their audiences, their learners, in different projects and different activities that helps them utilize those concepts you're teaching them in a way that would be relevant to their world, okay? And so one of the premises that you have and all of us are gearing towards in developing our mini course is that we are looking at delivering this information to adults, okay? So Knoll's adult learning theory is one of the big theorists that are out there related to how adults actually learn, okay? And one of the things I've already mentioned before is that learners need to have something that is really relevant for them. Okay. There needs to be a way to gather the knowledge that I have, that I'm gaining from you as that instructor, and being able to then utilize that in my world. Okay. So it needs to be relevant. It needs to be timely. I need to be able to gain that knowledge and really do that, move that forward. Okay. I need to incorporate prior knowledge so that I can use that and make that transition from that prior knowledge with this new concept to create new knowledge. Okay. Prior knowledge, new concept, new knowledge. Okay. And then the thing we're thinking about is accommodating that learner's way of thinking. So when I'm delivering information to my learners, I'm going to deliver it in a number of formats. All right. Things that I can have them think about, which is cognitive based information. Things that I want them to get hands-on in, which is called kinesthetic, okay, or psychomotor, all right? And then things that I want them to feel, so affective information. You'll hear those terms. Those are your learning domains: cognitive, psychomotor, affective, okay? And we want to use those strategies in the best way that it makes it relevant for adult learners to do that, okay? So Knoll's adult learning theory is kind of the big theory that many of us tend to use. So when you're looking at development, curricular development, course development, we are looking at a number of questions that we want to pay attention to. And so some of the things, the activities I actually have you doing today is helping you think about that. So what is your customer trying to learn? What do we want them to learn? What do we want them to reflect on? Okay. There may be some things in terms of your teaching that it's not just things that you're teaching, but you may have agencies behind the scene. Maybe you are wanting to formalize a mini course for your CPR training. And we look at the Heart Association and some of theirs. So how do we help meet those learning outcomes from a Heart Association in a way that we deliver our course? What outcomes and content should we include? We're going to talk about that in a broader way today, and basically learning ideas, our topic ideas and our lesson ideas. Okay. And then we'll formalize those into outcomes as we move forward. What teaching and learning methods should we use? Once we get an idea of what we're teaching and going out to our audience to see, yes, that's what they kind of want to have, then we're going to formalize those teachings, like I said, into our lesson outcomes. And then we need to, with those outcomes for those lessons, those 2 or 3 lessons that we plan to deliver in our mini course, identify the ways we're going to share the information to our audience to keep them engaged. So we'll talk about that when we get to that point. How will we assess learners? One of the things you'll note is that during day 1, one of the things I actually have you thinking about, and actually day 2 we'll really get into it, is how do we start from the beginning to evaluate our learners? What things do we want to put in place so that we know, 1, that our learner is learning, and 2, that our course is effective from their standpoint? Are there things that we might need to change with our course? Are there things that we're delivering well with our course? Okay. And then how should we establish those links to evaluate what's going on? So we're going to, within our online mini course, which we are developing, we're going to establish our evaluation strategy from the get-go and get that in there early. Okay. All right. And so learning styles is one of the things that this slide is kind of showing you. And we need to pay attention to the fact that we may have a number of different type of learning styles on there. And so in our delivery of our mini course, we want to make sure that we incorporate enough different styles in there so that we accommodate all our different types of learners. Okay, competencies. What I mean by this is sometimes your course is developed with the end goal of they need to develop a skill, okay, or a knowledge base so that they can move forward to the next stage, okay? And so let's take a skill because that's usually where you associate a competency-based course. And what we mean by that is the lesson outcomes, the lesson goals that I have in my course will help me be able to deliver this product. And I put this picture up here for those of you who remember Lucy and Ethel. And if you happen to seen this episode, they were in a candy factory and didn't necessarily get all the skills, the knowledge they needed to carry through and create the outcome that they needed to create it, which was to form the candies, get them in the box, and deliver them to the next stage. Okay. So one of the things you want to think about is in your mini course, how can we get the main lessons that we need to help them do what they need to do now for us? And so one of the other big premises in learning about this is what we call backward design. Okay. Course design is considered backward design. So on here, when I'm talking about this, we are actually taking what the ultimate transformation is from our course for our client. Okay. That is our initial starting point. Instead of me taking all the little lessons first and developing these little lessons and then going to these bigger ideas where the lessons kind of fall under, and then carrying those bigger ideas to the overall course title, the overall course topic, we're actually starting from up here. We're going to start from that course topic, the broad transformation, the thing that I want to bring to the audience, they want to have. Okay. And then we're going to work backwards. So then we're going to develop these course outcomes, and then we're going to go lower. And in that course outcome, we're going to develop little lesson outcomes so that we can figure out, based on this broad, big goal, what things we need to deliver to our audience. And so we get down from the broad idea down to the nitty gritty, the little perspectives. Okay, so that concept is called backward design. And that's the way I'm going to take you through our time together, is developing from the broad goal to all the little components that we need to help us reach that broad goal. And so this is just basically reiterating what I said. So we're looking at identifying those desired results, and we're looking at it from the big ideas. We're starting with those big ideas first, and then we're going to determine acceptable evidence. So we're going to be, in our process, our time together, looking at what it takes to deliver this course that's effective for them. So what evidence do we have that the audience wants to have this course in the first place? What evidence do we have of courses that exist out there that may be similar to yours, but may have a gap that you're trying to address? And let me, as an aside, say it's okay that there are courses similar to yours out there. There's an audience that meets for everybody. And you as a nurse boss have a unique perspective that you're delivering to your audience. Okay, so we're going to talk about that when we get there. Okay, and then planning learning experiences instruction. So now we're going to get down to what are we actually having them learn about in each of these different areas. Okay. And so here is your big tip, and this is going to relate to one of your activities for today. So this is kind of a broad picture of what we call a concept map. Okay, in this case, it's going to be your topic map. All right. And I want you just to take this kind of idea, and it does not have to be anything, really spectacular, really organized on the computer, nothing like that. Take a piece of paper, put a circle in the middle of that paper, identify what that main topic is that you're delivering to your audience. Don't put it in a sentence, put it in a phrase at most. Ideally, if you can give me 2 or 3 words at most, that's what you want to do. Okay, to focus down to what we want to do. All right. And then what you're going to have, and you see what my tip here is, make sure your mini course is a go. All right. And what I mean by that is, once we have developed our topics, A is our aims, G are our goals, and O are our objectives. So we have our broad topic. Okay. We have different 2 or 3 lessons underneath that topic. We have 2 or 3 goals. It could be 1 to 3 goals that we have towards that particular lesson aim. Okay. And then we have objectives to help meet that goal. That's what we're going to be breaking things down to. And this is going to be the pattern that we use the whole time when we're developing this course. So always go back and refer to this. And note that this, what you call concept map. Okay, so when you see your assignment for the day, I'm asking you to create your concept map. All right. And so your concept map is basically our schematic in our head. My goal is to get it out of your head and put it on paper, just the general idea, okay? You're not going nitty gritty into every detail yet, all right? But I am having you start to think about, how am I connecting these pieces? I put curricular aim, I changed that to lesson aim. But if I have this topic and I want to teach them about simulation, let's say simulation is that middle topic area. My 3 lessons may go around the area of helping them identify what simulation means, how simulation might be used, and how I can see if learning occurs as a result of simulation. Those could be my 3 lesson aims. And then my goals would work around helping my student understand those particular lesson aims. You see how I'm getting there bit by bit? Okay. So if the broad topic is simulation, my lesson aims is, what do I want that transformation to be in that topic? What is the big thing I want to happen? Okay. That's your goal for your course. That's what I want you to deliver for me. Okay. So I think we're coming down to our time. So what we covered today is just basically an idea of what you are going to be delivering over the next 5 days. So let's talk about that really briefly again. Okay, so again, this is technically 5 days, but you will have access to your videos through the next Monday by noon. All right, so I'm technically giving you through that weekend to finish up your content with the goal that you will be publishing that course and sharing your content. All right. Because I don't want us to sit in the holding pattern forever and ever. Amen. I don't want us to sit there and say, I know I have to make more changes. Okay. One of the things I've learned is that if you wait till you're perfect, you will never get it done. All right. It's okay. I'm giving you permission to publish without it being perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. One of the things about course design is it continually evolves. So recognize that, breathe with that, put the mindset that progress, not perfection, is what we're going for. Okay. So that we can get this done. All right. Because you as nurse bosses can handle your business and take care of this. All right. So 5 days. We're going to be focusing on, and let me actually pull out my paper here so we can talk. So day 1, we've talked about mindset, and we're going to be doing topic selection. So you're going to be doing that concept map. All right. And then I'm going to have you also get ready and get involved in the Facebook group. So I will be reaching out to each of you because I may need a way to get access so that I can get you in that group. Okay. Day 2, we're going to be looking at, what does our audience want? And then also validating from just not audience perspective, but out there, and giving you a chance to research what's out there on your topic right now. Who's selling courses or workshops related to your topic? And quickly scan what they've offered and look at the gaps that may be there from their offerings that you may be providing, because there's a reason why you're providing this offering in particular. All right. I will also on day 2 introduce you to the learning management platform, the learning management system, and that's just your online course platform. Okay. For our purposes, we are using Thinkific, but you could choose to use a number of different platforms, and I'll speak to those briefly during that presentation at that time. Day 3, we're going to actually get into creating our lessons. So we've gotten day 1, we've gotten this broad concept map that you see on your screen, a general idea. Day 2, we're reaching out to our audience and getting their ideas, getting some feedback from the research we've conducted to make sure that's taken care of. And then day 2, I failed to mention, we're also going to get our evaluation strategy. So I'm going to help you with some general questions, survey questions that we all can create. I'm going to help you create a Google form survey, and then be able to incorporate that link in your class. So that's one of the activities that we will do. All right, let's go back to day 3. Day 3 is lesson formation. So we're going to create our learning outcomes. We're going to figure out how we are going to deliver our lessons. You're going to refine your concept map based on the feedback that you've received. And let's get down to the nitty-gritty of developing this. Now, all this is still going to be developed on paper. The evaluation, however, we will put that link into our online course system. All right. We also will learn about some real basic video production, because I'm not looking for you to have a ton of equipment. In fact, you'll see that I'm pretty much using iPhone when I do this. Just make sure that you have a little base. I go to 5 and below and use a little base for that. And then the other thing you may want to do, they have a little light, circular light that you might want to put around your iPhone or your Android or whatever you're using as well to create video. And the other method that we use is called screencast. Okay, so literally you may have something on your screen that you want to speak to your audience about. So you will have on your laptop, your computer, we will have video of that screen going, and you can explain that concept to them if that's what you're having them do. Okay, so those are going to be two common methods for us to get our videos up into our course. All right, day 4, we're going to have partner course checks. All right, so you're going to have an idea of what your paper, you're going to have the schematic figured out in terms of what you plan to deliver. And yes, we're going to show it to each other in our Facebook group. Okay, our group is exclusive to us. Our group is exclusive to what I will do is partner you guys up in groups of 2 or 3. And your goal for that day is to look at each other's courses and give feedback on it. Okay. Think about if you are the one who is reviewing it, think about it from the perspective of that you are their particular audience member. So for those of us, when you put your course in there and give them an idea of what's going on, tell us who your target audience is so we can kind of come in that role for you and think about things that we might want to see or things that you've already got there covered really well with it, okay? All right, and then day 5 is me taking you back into Thinkific. And we are going to take your document that you're formulating from these worksheets and actually cutting it and pasting and putting it into our Thinkific online course. So I will take you step by step to show you how you upload, you put in text. How do you develop the overall course name, the lesson names, develop the different lessons under those lesson areas, okay? Develop different ways to deliver those lessons. So I had you, for instance, in your prep session, find a couple of videos or GIFs. All right. Or excuse me, I had you find some images and I had you find a couple of GIFs. And I'm going to show you how to upload those. All right. And how to rearrange them so that you feel comfortable with using that one. So that lesson and the lesson of actually creating your lessons are going to be longer in our 12-hour sessions, our time together, okay? I typically will have my videos be up to a half an hour long. That's my goal. For day 3 and 5, it may go over and I may have to break it up just because of the type of content we're doing. And I want to make sure that you feel comfortable in delivering the product that you have for it, okay? So 5 days coming from today through Friday, okay, our 5th day, and getting the point that we're going to upload our stuff and we're going to publish it. That's the other key piece, okay? So I'm going to make you push that doggone button so that you can show and put it out there for everybody to see. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Even if it stays up for a weekend, to give them an idea, I'm going to have us post in a couple of sites so that you can feel comfortable with it and know what to expect with it, okay? I will also show you in Thinkific how you can monetize your product. So we'll speak briefly to that when I speak about Thinkific, okay? So this wraps up our half hour. I thank you so much. So our lessons today, remind you, is your mindset. Keep that positive mindset going. Okay, making sure that we're going to look at our topic selection. Think about that transformation you're making for your client. How are they going to get there? Okay, what is the overall goal and what value are you bringing to them? Because that's going to be key. Okay, and then developing your mini course using AGO. Okay, you're going to have your broad topic. You're going to have your aims, your goals and your objectives. That's AGO. Aims, goals, objectives. All right. This is wrapping up day 1, Dr. Sandra, Tribe Consulting. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me, and I look forward to working with you on day 2.